And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy. Welcome aboard. Once again, as you can see, if this doesn't look familiar, we are back in Santiago de Cuba, in Cuba, and we're going to be heading over to the Cayman Islands today. We're trying our best to head south to get into South America to start our South America tour. But in order to do that, we need to actually get there first. And unfortunately, like, I haven't realized this, but I should have realized this, but the range on the VisionJet isn't really long enough for us to kind of get there in like 1 or 2 hops. So especially when you start loading on any kind of cargo or passengers, the amount of fuel that you can carry decreases very quickly. So yeah, that's kind of halting our efforts for now, but in the meantime, yeah, we're going to be heading over to Robinson International in Grand Cayman, and we're going to be carrying some passengers and dropping off some cargo there. Now, before starting the aircraft, I actually just realized that I totally forgot to actually get my flight plan in. So what I'm going to do now is quickly in the flight plan. If you want to skip ahead, feel free to do so, but it's not going to take very long. So we're going to be doing oops, not Ray-Bang. Oh, we're actually doing a standard instrument departure today from Santiago de Cuba, so I'm going to skip out that first waypoint. I'm going to go straight to the second one. I'm going to go Frost, and from Frost we're going to go to well, Malro. Malro is, I'm assuming this is going to be the transition for the approach into Robinson International, so we'll leave it at that. And what we'll do is we'll go procedure. We're going to do our departure, and we are doing the Cavo 3A departure with Ray-Bag as our transition. We're going to be departing runway 10, so we can go ahead and hit load. And for our arrival, we're going to be doing the GoRam 3 arrival. Now I'm just gonna check here in Navigraph just to kind of give you guys an idea what's going on. I'm reading this information up here. Oh, I have free stuff. Awesome. So what I normally do is I will go, actually I'll keep this as is. So I'm gonna go, I'll choose that. Just gonna go ahead and load it. Now this is going to be for, according to the flight plan that we have loaded into Navigraph, runway 8. So what I normally do next is I go to runway 8 and I'll go to the approach. We have RNAV approach, some VOR approaches, some visual approaches. I'll just choose the RNAV approach, and so if we do the Attribution, transition, that'll have us coming from here. So we could do either Attribution, or we can do Canucks if you want as well. Our flight plan does kind of take us below Cayman, so we could even do like Nauru or Mathis. So let's just choose Nauru instead. See if that's in the list. There it is. All right. And we can load that. Then we can come back to the approach and we'll just choose the RNAV 8 approach. And narrow should be in the list here. There it is. Boom. Now we'll go ahead and load that. All right, so now we're good to go. And what we'll do is just check our flight plan here. So this is our departure, Cayman to Raybag, and then Raybag to Frost. And then our arrival has us coming through Nauru. Continue doing a bunch of waypoints here. Now this is where it gets tricky, as you could see, and this is kind of me messing up probably, where it has us going back to the Nauru waypoint again, which is not what we want. So we can go ahead and we can get rid of this guy. Can we get rid of it? Oh, I can't get rid of it. Maybe. Well, let's double check this. So this is one of those lessons that we could use here when it comes to flight planning and that sort of thing. So right now we have Nauru. That is kind of our entry point for the arrival. So Nauru is coming in, and then approach RNAV 08. What we probably need to do instead of choosing Nauru is let's do actually pretty confused here. Okay, we'll go Goran. So Goran's the last waypoint. Let's do Goran here instead. And I'm just trying to look on here to see where Goran is. So I think Goran is a VOR. Is it? Let's see. That's odd. I don't see it on here at all. Just want to double check this. So, according to this, we'll go Nauru to GCM to D288. Just bear with me, folks. Shoot. I always do this. Always close Navigraph charts. Don't know why I do that. Okay. So I'm assuming these random points here are as we're going around maybe a DME arc. Really just guessing at this point. I'm not really too sure. What I will do is let's go back and let's take a look at the actual map. And Maybe if I see it visually, it'll make a little more sense. This is another cool feature I found, kind of exploring around, is that you can actually kind of move around the map on here. I don't know if all the okay, so that looks weird. So here's what we can do. Let's change our arrival. I believe this is good. Looking at 2V first. And let's try loading that. Let's see what difference that makes. Ooh, that looks even uglier. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's do this. So we'll go narrow. Load that. And then let's come back. Let's go to the approach. And let's not use the narrow transition. Gonna try some other ones here, some other combinations. See what looks better. Zoom in a little bit. So just want to see exactly what's happening. Okay. My apologies for this, folks. It's coming around doing this. It looks like it's going off to, from Mobix, it's going off to a 2B. And we don't want that. So RNAV. RN. What I might do is just do a direct to in order to avoid this. I don't want to waste more time playing around with that, because it's not actually letting me edit it either, unless, yeah, so we can't edit it there either. Okay, not a big deal. I'm sorry about that, folks. Outside of that, we are pretty much ready to go. Weather en route today is going to be pretty clear. It looks like we're going to have a tailwind for most of the flight as well, once we get in the air. So we should get there a little faster. I'm just going to keep an eye on this waypoint though, and then we'll go from there. All right. Okay, let's get our engine started. Strobes can go on.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
And I'm so sorry about that. That kind of got confusing, especially when I couldn't edit the waypoints, which is normally something that you can do, but I guess not there. All right, now engines are started. Generators could come on. Master oxygen, fresh air, and probe, you can come on. Don't need to worry about our ice protection because Things are good out there, temperature-wise. And we're in the Caribbean, so we don't have to worry about temperature at all. Okay. Speed buckles can come up. They're normally pretty much the same, but we are fairly heavy today. Flight time to the Cayman is going to be, the Cayman Islands is going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So what I want to do, get our timers up, and we'll start it once we get to the runway. Outside of that, everything looks good, and we could start our taxi over to runway 10. Alright, so I'm not sure if I had it up before when you first started watching. You can go to charts. I have the Navigraph charts integrated now, so we'll be able to see where we're going. So runway 10 is off to our left, or runway 10, so we're going to go ahead and start the taxi there. Parking brakes off. We're also going to adjust, oops. We're also going to adjust our trim on the way. There we go. All right. So just gonna make sure our trim turns green. There we go. Just to give you a better idea of what we're looking at right here. As you can see, trim is now green, which means we have it set correctly for takeoff. We can get this guy set as well. Put the joystick back. Things are free and clear. We are on the runway. I'm assuming that maybe FSLTL doesn't have any aircraft that fly here to this airport. This is an international airport though, so I was expecting to see some aircraft here, but guess not. So we're just going to taxi down to the end of the runway. Then once we reach the end, we'll go ahead and change our MFD to look at the route. This is an absolutely beautiful day here in Cuba. And yeah, we, as I've mentioned before in other videos, we're actually continuing our Canada tour, and we're actually almost done, folks. So our next flight in Canada, we're going to be heading into BC, and BC is on the west coast of Canada, so we are almost done, which I'm a little excited about. And then we are going to start flying somewhere else. I don't know what we're going to be flying, or where we're going to be flying, but we're going to be flying there. Alright folks, so here we go. So as you can see, we have a headwind, but we're definitely going to be heading back in the other direction kind of once we get in the air. So we should catch a nice tailwind, and then we're going to be on our way. Here we are on the threshold. Get our landing lights on. You could start our timer as well. And away we go, folks. Let's get our map up too. Beautiful. Set takeoff power. And we're gonna enter takeoff mode. Oops. There we go. Looking at about 90 knots for takeoff. Here we go, that stupid wobbly thing again. Rotates. This controller is
airborne time logged.
Gear up. Yeah, this joystick is pretty sensitive for this aircraft. Just gonna trim it out just a little bit. Get our nose to 5 degrees. Okay. Having a whale of a time trying to control this. Alright, I'm gonna start our right turn. And we'll climb it out at about 2,000 feet per minute. And we are moving a little fast, so I'm going to go back to our takeoff thrust, or MCT. Going to get our autopilot on, flight level change, and nav mode. And now we can kind of ease off the yoke. And let's say goodbye to Cuba, folks. Let's say I'm not really too sure why this is so hard to control on takeoff. I've been trying to tweak my my sensitivity settings on the yoke and the joystick. For some reason for this aircraft doesn't, it's just hard to control when it starts to get going. Don't really know why. I really need to use my other joystick. But I'm still using the Extreme 3D Pro. So as I mentioned, today we are heading off to Robbins International in Grand Cayman. So there's 2 airports there that I know of. The Robbins International, which is in Grand Cayman. And then there's another airport in Cayman Brac. So Cayman Brac is like the smaller island in the Cayman Islands. So that is Charles Arcano International Airport. Yeah, but I believe that airport is on the smaller side. But no, it looks like bigger aircraft land there too, which is pretty cool. I have been to the Cayman Islands before. It's been a long while, so as I've mentioned to people in previous videos, I've flown, when I first started my channel a couple years ago, I actually flew exclusively in the Caribbean. So I've flown all around the Caribbean, and I was doing that mostly in the King Air and the BM2 Islander, plus a few other few other aircraft as well. And since then, I've kind of expanded off to the rest of the world. So I spent some time flying in Europe. Kind of want to go back there and something bigger. I'm now exploring Canada. I spent a lot of time moving around the United States, and now I'm focusing on South America, and as well maybe doing Africa at some point too. I think Africa is where I'm going to go after South America. So it's pretty cool to be able to do some exploring around the world. I wonder if I should take the BN2 Islander over to Hawaii, 'cause I've always wanted to do some flying around there as well. That'll be good. Have another cool idea for flights in Flight Simulator. Something that I thought of a while back, and I'm going to introduce it at some point. I just need to figure out exactly what aircraft I need to fly, but it's going to probably require me flying a bunch of different aircraft, depending on where I'm going. So we'll see how things go. But I think I'm going to start that series at some point in the new year, and yeah, that should be a fun one. All right, folks. We are just going to continue our steady climb up to cruising altitude. According to our timer, we are 6 minutes in, and we have a ways to go. So when I come back, folks, I'm just going to continue to enjoy the beautiful weather, but we're going to be starting our descent. I can imagine maybe in the next hour or so, we'll be starting our descent into the Cayman Islands and hoping for a very smooth landing. All right. Please come back and join me, and I'll talk to you guys then. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have started our descent into the beautiful Cayman Islands. As you can see, straight ahead of us, we're looking to head over the top. We're going to fly past the airport, which I believe I could see right there. Sort of difficult to see, but I could sort of see the line of the runway. So we're going to basically pass over the top, and then we're going to do a loop and come back in for landing. We're going to be doing the RNAV approach today, and our passengers are going to be a little uncomfortable, I could imagine. We're descending at about 2,000 feet per minute. So we start our descent a little later, but yeah, our airspeed is kind of creeping up a little bit too. It's supposed to be doing 200 knots, but the airplane is struggling to get anywhere close to that. So I'm gonna have to arrest our rate of descent a little bit. So I'm just gonna bring it up slightly. And hopefully that'll get us to slow down a little bit. Also just going to dial back our throttle as well. Like, the aircraft is trying to hold 200 knots, but in trying to hold 200 knots, it's also moving way faster than 200 knots, if that makes sense. All right, so let me just show you real quickly the approach that we are doing. And I know there was some confusion in the beginning when we were trying to kind of get this set up in the FMS, but So we started with Nauru. Well, we're coming in through the Nauru waypoint. We're doing the Goran 3 arrival, and it's basically kind of at this point where things started to get a little iffy when I was trying to set things up. We're going to be doing the RNAV 08, RNAV runway 08 approach. And basically what's going to happen is that we're going to come over the airport. And as you can see, we're sort of doing that now. Flying directly to the airport. The airport is straight ahead, right there. So we're going to fly directly over the airport. And then after that, we're going to kind of do a bit of a turn to come back around. And then I think I have the flight plan set up to come back through Mobix. So let's see what's happening over here. Oh no, we're going straight GCM. We're going to go out to this D288M waypoint. Then this is where we're going to start that turn around. We're going to go around that arc, and then we're going to come back down through the Goran waypoint. The Goran waypoint doesn't really show up here on the RNAV approach, but it's actually a part of the VOR approach. So we're gonna come back through Goran, and then we're gonna head towards. I didn't see Mobix in there, so we're just gonna come back through, and we're gonna head towards Sesa, then come in for a landing. At the time, we're currently descending to 1,500 feet. And we should get down there. Should be right over the airport now. There it is. Looks like there's an aircraft sitting on the runway as well. Doesn't look like the textures have quite loaded in properly. That's okay though. Alright, so we're getting a little too fast again. So I'm just gonna dial back our speed even more. Absolutely nice and quiet inside the cabin. I love it. And this has been an amazing day for flying. I ain't gonna hold you. It's been good, man. Clear skies, just light, fluffy white clouds from Cuba all the way here. Couldn't have asked for better weather to do this approach. And as I always say, I'm a huge fan of island flying. Absolutely love it. So it's just good to really be able to have clear skies on these approaches. But when you're flying in the Caribbean, more often than not, you're going to get good weather. Maybe a little bit of rain at the most. Nothing too crazy. Unless you're traveling during hurricane season, which it is not right now. So, not really expecting too much crazy weather here. Alright, we are coming down to 2,600 feet. Just adjusting the altimeter. And 4.9 nautical miles to go before we start. Well, before we hit the next waypoint, so we can kind of get that turn started. If I wanted to, what we could do to save time is just do a direct to Goran now. In fact, let's go ahead and do that because we're basically at the altitude that we need to be at in order to shoot this approach anyway. So let's try and shave a few minutes off our time. Currently, timer is at 1 hour 22 minutes. So we're actually a little ahead of schedule. And if you could see, we have that tailwind that I was telling you about. So that probably has something to do with it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our flight plan. We are going to select Goran, and then let's go direct to Goran. All right. So we're making that turn now. Absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do, auto throttle is going to come off. And I'm going to start getting this first notch of flaps out. Got to turn on my landing lights. Landing lights are now on because we crossed 10,000 feet a long time ago. It's gonna get up to 100 knots. Slow down a lot just now. It might be like a wind issue. Yeah, the speed is like jumping up and down. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely having some issues with wind right now. I kind of just sort of watching my speed because I've seen it jump about 5 to 10 knots in either direction instantly. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. I'd rather stay a little above our approach speed instead of coming in too slow. Really loving this little VisionJet, and I'm a big fan of these little, like, technically advanced planes. The Honda Jet and the Citation really kind of spoil me. So. And for me, I find some of these planes, most of the Citation kind of gave me a bit of a challenge. Just a bit of a challenge, but it wasn't too confusing though. It was more about like understanding how the systems work more than anything else. But even the Citation was very, very automated. Very easy plane to kind of learn and get the hang of. And the Honda Jet and the VisionJet make it even easier, which is kind of crazy to me. Alright, starting our turn towards Gorin now. And what I'm going to do is get approach mode on. Since this is an RNAV approach, it's not going to be an issue. Once this this line starts to center, we should start making a left turn. Ooh, what's that? Okay, somebody's trying something a little crazy. They're probably going to be landing at the same airport. No idea. Alright, starting our turn towards the airport now. I'm gonna dial back a little bit. Might try to get some space between myself and that person in front of me. I thought I saw them just now, but it was just a speck of dust. Alright folks, so here we are on final approach to Robinson International. Once we hit this SASA waypoint, I will go gear down and full flaps. Then we'll do our final checks and we'll prepare for landing. So this airport has been redone. This is a third-party scenery available on flightsim.to. So make sure to go and check it out. I just tested it out before I landed here, and it looks amazing. Alright, heading about 10 knots above our approach speed with 5 nautical miles to go before we are officially on final approach. Want to thank everyone who is checking out the old channel. Definitely appreciate it. I'm trying to pump out content regularly. I'm currently in Halifax right now, and I'm going to be heading back to Ontario in a few days, and I fully intend, once I get there, to continue to push out new content regularly, really get this channel back on track, because I've definitely like fallen behind as of late. So okay, just captured the glide path and we are now descending. Just gonna keep an eye on the speed. We'll go gear down. And full flaps. Alright, we are pretty much on profile. 2 reds, 2 whites. Always have to watch these glide paths for RNAV because they normally end up like running you into the ground. Had it happen numerous times before. And it's doing it again, actually. Yeah. All right. Autopilot off.
Wing 090 at 15 knots.
Just keep an eye on the lights. Just waiting for it to go 2 white, 2 red. Just trying to hold. There we go. Just holding my speed right now. Now it's 3 whites. Oop. There we go. Alright, getting bumped around a little bit. And now we're too high. That's okay. Lots of runway to deal with. Just trying to make fine adjustments to keep straight. And here we go, folks. Flare.
Landing time logged.
I feel like that might have been a little hard, but can't really tell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Cayman. Local time, 4:13 p.m. Got here about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Cannot complain about that. And as you can see, FSLTL has beautifully populated the airport. See Southwest here. I see Continental here as well. Awesome. I think GA parking is more over on that side. But I'll spare you guys a lone taxi today. And I'm just gonna drop this aircraft in here. Shout out to all my subs. Big shout out to my boy Z Lively. Shout out to Milan. Shout out to Candace. Move RMT Studio. Appreciate you guys. Definitely appreciate you guys. And all the other subs out there who tune in to catch these videos. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you. By the time this video comes out, the new year would have passed, I believe. So, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you guys have had an awesome 2023. And I'm looking forward to an awesome 2022. I'm looking to an awesome 2023. All right. All the best to everyone. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share these videos if you see fit. Outside of that, stay safe. And most importantly, stay fly. I'm out. Peace.